Welcome back to PowMr's channel. In this video, we will show you how to configure the program setting using the LCD screen of the POW-LVM3.2K-24V all-in-one solar inverter. Let's get started. Before we begin the setup, let's familiar ourselves with the screen display. The upper section displays various values such as battery voltage and AC output voltage on the initial page. If a fault occurs, the middle area will display the fault code. When entering the settings, upper section shows the setting program code and the corresponding options or values. The lower section uses icons and arrows to display the current flow in the system's operating modules. For example, when only the battery and the AC loads are connected, the interface will show the battery and load icons, along with the current flow indicator and inverter icon. Now let's focus on the button panel. The Set button is used to enter or exit setting mode. The up and down buttons are used to switch options and pages. As well as to increase or decrease the values. And the Enter button is used to enter the settings or confirm options. Well, let's move on to the detailed setup instructions. First, press the Set button on the main page to enter the settings menu. Setting 0 is used to exit the setting menu. Setting 1 is to selecting the output priority mode. UTI mode is the utility priority mode, where the inverter switches to inverter mode only when utility power is unavailable, meaning the load is powered by photovoltaic and battery power. SPU mode is the inverter priority mode, where the utility power is used only when the battery voltage is below the value set in setting 4. SOL mode is the solar priority mode, where the inverter prioritizes using solar power for the load. Utility power is used only when solar power is unavailable or the battery voltage is below the value set in setting 4. Setting 2 is for setting the output frequency, which can be 50 Hz or 60 Hz. Setting 3 is for setting the AC input voltage range with UPS and APL modes, having an input voltage range of 90 to 140 volts. Setting 4 is for setting the voltage value at which the output power switches from the battery to utility. When the battery voltage reaches this value, the inverter automatically switches from the inverter output mode to bypass output mode. Setting 5 is for setting the voltage value at which the output power switches from utility to battery. When the battery voltage reaches this value, the inverter automatically switches from the bypass output mode to inverter output mode. Setting 6 is for setting the charging mode. SNU mode is hybrid charging mode, where both solar and utility can charge the battery, prioritizing solar. When solar is insufficient, utility supplements it. In OSO mode, only solar is used to charge the battery and the utility is not used. CSO mode prioritizes solar, with utility used only when solar is unavailable. CUV mode, with solar used only when utility is unavailable. Setting 7 is for setting the maximum charging current, which should be set according to the battery maximum acceptable charging current to ensure it within the battery's tolerance. Setting 8 is for setting the battery type, including GE-LEC batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries, ternary lithium batteries, custom battery options, solid-lead-acid batteries, and fluid-lead-acid batteries. The USC option allows for custom battery charging parameters if the connected battery does not match the predefined options. Setting 9 is for setting the boost charging voltage. Setting 10 is for setting the maximum duration of boost charging. Setting 11 is for setting the flow charging voltage. Setting 12 is for setting the over-discharge voltage. Setting 13 is for setting the over-discharge delay. When the battery voltage drops below the over-discharge voltage set in setting 12, the device will shut down the inverter after the delay time set in setting 13. Setting 14 is for setting the battery load voltage alarm value. Setting 15 is for setting the battery discharge limit voltage. Setting 16 is for enabling or disabling the equalization charging function. Setting 17 is for setting the equalization charging voltage. Setting 18 is for setting the equalization charging duration. Setting 19 is for setting the equalization extension time. If the equalization duration is set to 120 minutes, the inverter will extend equalization charging time if the battery voltage does not reach the set equalization voltage after 120 minutes. This settings determines the extension duration. Even if the battery voltage does not reach the equalization voltage after the extension, the inverter will terminate equalization. Setting 20 is for setting the equalization charging interval, that is, how often to automatically equalize. Setting 21 is for immediately start or stopping the equalization charging. Setting 22 is for enabling or disabling the power saving mode. Setting 23 is for enabling the automatic restart function after overload. Setting 24 is for enabling the automatic restart function after overheating. Setting 25 is for enabling or disabling the booster. By default, it's enabled. When disabled, the device will not sound alarm. Setting 26 is for enabling or disabling the mode switch prompt. By default, this function is enabled. The inverter will sound the prompt when the output power switches. Setting 27 is for enabling or disabling the function of switching the bypass output when the inverter is overloaded. When enabled, the inverter will automatically switch to utility bypass output in case of overload. Setting 28 is for setting the maximum AC charging current. Setting 29 feature is still under development, so we skip it here. Setting 13 is for setting the communication code of the inverter. Setting 32 is for setting the RS-45 communication function. If you need to connect to PC or other remote monitoring device, select the SLA option. For BMS communication, select the 485 option. Setting 33 is for setting the BMS communication protocol. If the BMS is selected in setting 22, you will need to further select the corresponding communication protocol. The available protocol includes those compatible with main battery brands on the market, offering a wide range of options. Setting 35 is for setting the undervoltage recovery voltage value. After the inverter shut down due to undervoltage, it will automatically restart when the battery voltage reaches this value. Setting 36 is for setting the maximum photovoltaic charging current. Setting 37 is for setting the voltage value at which the battery will be recharged after being fully charged. Setting 38 is for selecting the AC output voltage, which can only be done when the inverter is in standby mode. After enabling BMS communication, setting 39 allows to configure the charging current limiting method. BMS option indicates that maximum charging current is limited by BMS limit value. INV option means the maximum charging current is limited according to the inverter's derating logic. And the set signals the limiting based on the current value set in setting 7. Setting 58 to 62 appear after selecting lithium battery BMS communication. Used for configure SOC threshold for battery charge or discharge. Setting 58 is for discharge warning SOC. Discharge cutoff SOC. Charge cutoff SOC. Switch to grid output SOC. And switch to inverter output SOC. That concludes the setup instruction for the POW-LVM3.2K-24V all-in-one solar inverter. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.